All right, so today we're diving into something that's been really interesting to me,
Okay.
the changing face of e-commerce,
Okay.
specifically with Alibaba.
Yeah,
Ah.
it's a fascinating case study,
Yeah,
really. I mean, they've gone through this complete strategic transformation recently,
right.
and it tells us a lot about where the entire industry is headed.
Yeah, that's what I found so interesting about this, Chongjiang Securities report, that you shared.
Yeah.
Um, they've gone from this image of unstoppable growth
Right.
to something much more strategic, more
The
focused.
classic shift, for
Yeah.
bigger is always better,
Right.
to like, let's be smarter about how we grow.
Yeah,
And that's a lesson a lot of companies are grappling with right now,
for sure.
not just in e-commerce,
Totally.
but across the board.
So let's rewind a bit.
Go.
Um, Alibaba was really known for that big platform model, right?
Right.
Like they wanted to be the one-stop shop for everything
Yeah. And it was incredibly effective. Oh, yeah.
for a long time. But, as the market matured,
Right.
new challengers emerged
Course.
with different approaches.
Right.
And it forced Alibaba to adapt.
Okay.
It's like they were playing checkers
Uh-huh.
and suddenly everyone else started playing chess.
I like that. Yeah.
Well,
So that's where this major reorganization comes in.
yeah,
This idea of splitting into 6 independent business groups.
exactly.
Okay.
Think of it like this.
Okay.
Instead of one massive ship trying to change course in a narrow channel,
Mhm.
they now have a fleet of smaller,
Oh.
more agile boats.
Right.
They can respond to market shifts faster
Makes sense.
and capitalize on opportunities more effectively.
it makes you wonder, are those mega corporations
Yeah.
of the past
Right.
becoming too slow and cumbersome
Yeah.
to compete in this new landscape?
It's a valid question.
Yeah.
And Alibaba's reorganization seems like a direct response to that challenge.
Quick.
They're prioritizing agility.
Right. Which is essential in a world where consumer preferences can change overnight.
Right. And this focus on ROIC, return on invested capital,
Yes.
signals a shift in mindset too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're laser focused on sustainable profitability,
Yeah.
making sure every investment counts.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sign of maturity.
Yeah.
Recognizing that long-term success requires a different kind of strategy.
Which brings us to the competition.
Okay.
They had Pinduoduo coming in with that budget-friendly model.
Right.
And then Douyin, basically TikTok's Chinese counterpart,
Right.
completely changing the game with content-driven shopping.
It was a multi-front battle for sure.
Yeah.
And Alibaba's initial response was interesting.
Okay.
They tried to fight fire with fire,
Okay.
going head-to-head on price
Mm-hmm.
with initiatives like Jiaozhuan and Taote.
But that wasn't sustainable in the long run,
No,
was it?
not really.
Okay.
It cut into their profits,
Yay.
and it didn't play to their strengths.
Right.
Remember, Alibaba built its reputation on quality,
Right.
a huge selection,
Sure.
and a reliable customer experience.
Of course.
A race to the bottom on price risked eroding that.
So how did they pivot?
Quit.
What did the strategic shift actually look like? Or
So-
worked us?
They realized they couldn't beat these new players at their own game.
Okay.
So they leaned into their existing strengths instead.
Okay.
Instead of copying Pinduoduo's model,
Uh-huh.
they leverage their massive B2B platform,
Okay.
1688,
Okay.
to ensure a steady supply of quality goods at competitive prices,
Okay.
feeding into Tato
Uh-huh.
and strengthening their position in that market segment.
So they kind of like went a different route?
Yeah, they had to. They had to
Right.
play a different game
Okay.
because you can't win
Right.
playing somebody else's game.
What about Douyin? How did they handle that? Because that's like a whole other...
That's a whole other beast.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets really interesting
Yeah.
because they realized that their live streaming platform wasn't attracting the same
Right.
kind of impulsive buyers
Yeah.
as Douyin was.
Okay.
So what they decided to do was leverage
Okay.
their massive existing user base
Okay.
and focus on value,
Yeah.
not just
Okay.
viral trends.
So they're like, yeah, we might not be able to out TikTok.
Yeah, we can't
TikTok.
win at that game. So let's lean into our strengths.
So are they kind of trying to bridge that gap between like
I think so.
intentional shopping and those impulse buys?
Yeah.
Like, are they trying to blend the best of both worlds?
Yeah, and they've even started attracting some of Douyin's
Oh, wow.
top influencers over to Taobao.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
It's-
they're realizing that there's a lot of value there.
It sounds like a very delicate
It is.
balancing act, though.
It is. Because you've got to keep those core shoppers happy.
Right.
But you also want to attract this new breed of consumer
Right.
who's used to that kind of like
Yeah.
entertainment-driven shopping experience.
Like, come for the
But
deals, stay for the videos
right.
or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
And that's where their data prowess comes in.
okay.
They're using
Right.
this vast trove of customer data that they have
Of course.
to personalize recommendations,
Okay.
fine-tune algorithms,
Makes sense.
and really make sure that they're catering to both of those demographics effectively.
So they're basically saying, we might not make you go viral, but we'll help you find exactly what you're looking for and then some.
Exactly. And it's not just about attracting customers, it's about keeping them engaged.
Okay.
That's where their 88 VIP membership program comes in.
Ah, yes, their answer to Amazon Prime.
Exactly.
What's really fascinating to me is it goes way beyond discounts.
Oh, it does. It's like a loyalty program on steroids.
Okay.
I mean, they're offering significant discounts.
Exclusive deals.
Yeah.
Early access to sales.
Wow.
Free streaming services.
What?
Food delivery perks.
Okay.
Enhanced customer service. I mean, the list goes on.
It seems incredibly valuable
is.
for the price point.
Oh, yeah.
It's really smart
Yeah.
to drive that loyalty.
Well, and that's the key here.
Okay.
They're recognizing that in a world of endless choice,
Right.
customer loyalty is paramount.
Yeah.
And they're willing to invest heavily
Sure.
to cultivate it.
This focus on customer experience seems to be like a recurring theme.
It is. It's fundamental to their strategy.
So they're not just competing on price or selection anymore.
Right.
It's like the entire
It's the entire shopping journey.
shopping journey.
That's exactly it.
Makes you wonder, is this the future of online shopping?
It could be.
Right.
It's certainly a possibility.
Instead of battling it out over price tags, it's more like
Right.
user experience and personalized service is what's going to...
And Alibaba seems to be betting on that.
Yeah.
They're constantly innovating, testing new features,
Okay.
refining their approach.
It's interesting.
But there's another layer to their strategy that we haven't even touched on yet.
Okay.
Their global ambitions.
Right. They're not content with just
Oh,
dominating in China.
no,
What's the game plan for the rest of the world?
actually quite fascinating.
Okay.
They're taking this multi-pronged approach,
Okay.
leveraging their experience in China,
Right.
but also adapting to local nuances.
So it's not just a one-size-fits-all.
No, not at all.
Okay.
They have a whole network
Okay.
of international e-commerce platforms,
Okay.
each one tailored to a specific region
Oh, wow.
and consumer preferences.
Interesting.
So they've got AliExpress for global reach,
Mm-hmm.
Lazada for Southeast Asia,
Oh, okay.
Trendyol for Turkey,
Wow.
Daraz for South Asia.
They're all over the place.
They're strategically positioned
Wow.
in key markets.
It's like they're building this global e-commerce empire piece by piece.
And they're using their logistics expertise to do it.
Okay, how so?
Well, they have Cainiao,
Okay.
which is their global logistics arm.
Right.
That gives them a significant edge
Okay.
in terms of speed and efficiency.
So they're not just building the platforms, they're building the actual
They're building the infrastructure
infrastructure.
for a truly global marketplace.
That's fascinating.
And they're supporting their merchants every step of the way.
Okay.
For example, they have this program called Global Package Shipping
Okay.
that subsidizes shipping costs for apparel merchants
Wow.
to help them reach international customers without
Huge.
breaking the bank.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a really smart move.
it is.
Yeah.
Because they're creating a win-win situation
Right.
for themselves and their merchants.
Fostering this whole global
Exactly.
e-commerce ecosystem.
Very strategic.
It's not just about physical goods, though, right? They're also making moves in that digital realm with Alibaba Cloud.
Absolutely. They're going head-to-head with
Giants like Amazon and Microsoft
Yeah.
in the cloud computing arena.
It's incredible how far they've come.
It is
From just like that Taobao platform
remarkable.
to like this global powerhouse.
Yeah, they've transformed
It's amazing.
from a Chinese e-commerce platform to a global tech powerhouse.
And they're not slowing down at all.
No, they're not.
They're constantly innovating and looking at new technologies, AI,
Always pushing the boundaries.
machine learning
Mhm.
to make those platforms even better.
Right, and create even more personalized experiences.
And speaking of AI, they've been putting a lot of money into their own large language model, Tongyi Qian.
That's right.
What impact do you think that'll have on their e-commerce operations?
Well, it has the potential to be a game changer. I mean, imagine a world
Yeah.
where AI personalizes your shopping experience
To like an insane degree.
to an unprecedented degree.
Wow.
From product recommendations to customer service interactions. Tongyi Quanwen could completely revolutionize
Wow.
how we interact with e-commerce platforms.
It sounds both really cool and also kind of creepy.
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Like we're stepping into a sci-fi novel.
Right, where it's like our every shopping desire is like
Exactly.
quickly anticipated.
It knows what you want before you do.
It's a little wild, but
But for now, it's just one piece of the puzzle.
okay.
Alibaba's transformation is about more than just shiny new tech.
Right.
It's about a fundamental shift in mindset.
So from going after every single opportunity to just focusing on their core strength.
Exactly.
Okay.
From prioritizing growth at all costs to building a sustainable,
Right.
profitable business.
It's almost like they're saying like, we figured it out in China and now we're taking the show on the road. But are they risking spreading themselves too thin
It's a good question.
with this global expansion?
It's definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
And it's something that they're very aware of. And they're trying to address it through this combination of strategic acquisitions,
Okay.
local partnerships,
Makes sense.
and really just like a deep understanding
Yeah.
of how individual markets work.
So not trying to just like impose the Chinese model on everybody else.
Exactly. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
It's more about taking their playbook
Yeah.
and adapting it
Okay.
to different contexts.
So taking the best of both worlds, their
Mhm.
strategies, but also like the special sauce of each market.
Yeah, they're recognizing that
Right.
what works in China might not work in Southeast Asia
Of course.
or Europe.
Right.
So they're spending a lot of time and resources
Okay.
trying to really understand consumer behavior
Makes sense.
in each of these regions
And then tailoring.
and then tailoring their platforms and offerings.
Wow. It's really interesting.
It's a big undertaking.
Yeah. This global package shipping program is really interesting too.
Yeah.
It's like they're creating a safety net
Yeah, they're trying to
for these merchants
de-risk it for them.
to get them to be more global.
Right. Because if they can empower their merchants to succeed,
Yeah.
especially on a global scale,
Right.
that's good for Alibaba.
It's brilliant. It's like you said, it's that win-win.
Exactly.
The merchants succeed, Alibaba succeeds.
Everybody wins.
And then consumers all over the world get more stuff,
It's
more variety. It's really cool.
lower prices.
This whole shift, though,
Yeah.
from just growing super fast
Right.
to being more sustainable,
Yeah.
more profitable.
It's a big change.
It's a huge change for a company like Alibaba.
It is.
Do you think this is like the start of something bigger
It's an interesting question
in the tech industry?
because the
Yeah.
tech sector has always been about hypergrowth, right?
Totally. It's like, how fast can you grow?
Exactly. And it's all about market share.
Right.
But I think we are starting to see a shift.
Okay.
Companies are realizing
Okay.
that long-term success
Yeah.
requires a more balanced approach.
So it's not just growth at all costs now.
It's not just about growth for growth's sake.
Right.
It's about sustainable growth,
It's like the industry is finally growing up a little bit,
maybe.
realizing that profits matter
Profits matter.
as much as just innovating all the time.
And that's not to say that innovation is going away.
Right.
Alibaba is still investing heavily in AI, cloud computing, logistics.
Yeah.
They're still pushing the boundaries.
They're still all over it.
But they're doing it
Yeah.
with an eye on the bottom line.
So it's like finding that sweet spot between innovating and actually making money,
Exactly.
which is a good lesson for anybody,
In any industry.
not even just tech.
Absolutely.
What does this mean for the average person, though?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
For someone who shops online?
I think we can expect to see a more mature,
Okay.
a more refined e-commerce landscape.
Okay.
Platforms are going to be laser focused on delivering
Okay.
personalized experiences,
Mhm.
seamless transactions,
Right.
exceptional customer service.
So it's less about like the cheapest stuff
It's not just about price anymore.
and more about like
It's about value.
showing that it doesn't have to be super expensive.
Exactly. Convenience and quality don't have to come at a premium.
This has been a really insightful deep dive.
It has been fascinating to watch.
Yeah. As we wrap up,
Yeah.
what are some key takeaways you want to leave our listener with?
I think the biggest takeaway is that e-commerce is not static.
Right.
It's constantly changing,
Always evolving.
evolving, and the companies that are going to thrive
Yeah.
are the ones that can adapt,
Okay.
embrace new technologies,
Right.
and really prioritize
Mhm.
both customer needs and financial sustainability.
So basically, you have to keep your ear to the ground and always be ready to change.
Exact.
It's kind of inspiring in a way.
It is. It's a very dynamic space.
Alibaba's story is really cool too.
Yeah, it's incredible.
How they went from this small little thing in China to like,
A tiny startup
yeah, to this global powerhouse.
to a global giant.
It's pretty amazing.
It's a testament to their vision and their ability to execute.
It's a good lesson for any company.
In any industry.
Trying to make it in the digital world.
Absolutely.
Well, on that note, we're going to wrap it up.
Sounds good.
This has been The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us.